In today's video, a man picks up a pigeon turd. I nearly get hit in the face by a pigeon. And the sun gets in my eyes. Morning guys, it's the Birdman. It is Saturday, I think it's March 24th. And just came out here to check on the birds this morning. I've got some more eggs out now. Got some birds I was really excited to be breeding. I got a pair right here that have got 2 eggs now. These are some really nice birds, and the man who gave them from me has a real nice place up in northern North Carolina, and he does something called Loft Racing, which is pretty cool. Not something I'm going to be trying for a while, though I may. You can win a lot more money in a one-loft race than in a race with the clubs, but you're also less involved with it. But we're actually going to go up there to that guy's house today. His name is Tim, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about one-loft racing. And aside from that, just wait till you guys see his loft. It's nearly the size of my house. It's going to be great. So come with me guys, and we're going to head on there. Quick pit stop at Chick-fil-A, get some breakfast, and we're back on the way. Here we are guys, and it is a beautiful place up here. Just wait till we all get to look around. So after I started editing the videos, or the video for today, I realized I never introduced Tim Holt. We talked about that when I first got there. I asked him if he wanted to go ahead and do his introduction. He said, let's do that afterwards. Let me do this, and we just forgot. But videos, we went down there to talk about one-loft racing. But Tim also hadn't fed the birds yet, and so he wanted me to follow him as he fed. And he just kind of talked as we went, and shared a lot of really good information. Plus he talked about his vitamins and supplements and stuff. But tacking that onto this video was going to make it so long that I'm going to do 2 videos. This video, and right around this time somewhere, I don't know if it's here or there, whatever I put it on the screen right here somewhere, will be a link to the second video. In which I will not cut or edit the following him around. Unfortunately, the camera stopped recording once while filming that, and I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure how much I lost yet. I haven't finished editing this video. but the link will be somewhere here, and then you'll get to see all of that. And he shared a lot of really good information, so I'd really encourage you to watch that video as well. But for now, here's this one. So here is Tim Holt in front of some of his trophies, and he's going to explain what One Loft Racing is. But then as soon as he does that, Tim just recently won 3rd place in, what race was it?
It was the $1 million race.
The $1 million race in South Africa. And if y'all are familiar with One Loft Race, I know you know what that is. And so we're gonna let him take it away now, though.
For the ones of you that don't know what One Loft Racing is, it's you know, it breaks you away from what we are, most of us familiar with, is the combine racing and club racing. But I won the champion young bird, the champion bird in 2014, 15, and 16, and I won the champion loft of all 3 years, the same, 14, 15, and 16. And there was 30 some lofts competing in that, which that's not a whole lot, but it's still, whether you had 30 or 300 or 3,000, you was still first place. That's within any race that you at. But here we got just a couple of little trophies here. Not many of the combines gives trophies or anything, but the race that I'm most proud of winning, and it's the most sought after race in the world, is the $1 million race in South Africa. And it's everybody's dream to ever win that race, in which my bird was not the first bird that won, that did come in. And I've got the 3rd place here of it, and here's a $1,000 gold pendant that they also give with it for the race. For I don't know how many positions they go down that they give that, but there were 4 birds on the drop, and mine was just fortunate to walk in 3rd. It would have been nice for it to walk in.
Do you have that video on your phone?
First, I do have the video.
If you send me that video, I'll put it into this so they can see your bird. And it was the only blue check, so it'll be easy for everybody to see.
It is the only checker in the of the 4 birds on the drop. Very proud to have a bird there. I've been flying. I flew that race 3 years to actually have a bird there. I'm very, very honored to have that position, and I am getting the bird back. I bought Little Spirit back for I think it was around $40,000, 41, 42, somewhere right in there. Not sure off the top of my head, but
$42,000.
But the race, you know, it gets half of the royalties of what the bird brings, and you have to pay the other half. So actually I have to pay $20,000 for the bird to get it back. But hopefully we can get everybody some good birds off of that. But you do have to have some birds that can fly those tough headwinds over there in that race. And going into that race, I had in the United States, I had 3 of the top 4 grand averages going into the race. So, and that's including all the car races and all the training tosses all averaged in together. And I think I was 14th in the world for the grand average. And going to the race, I think there was over 2,500 pigeons going to the race. That's a large number. There was over 5,000 birds entered into the race. But I have competed some in the one-off races here in the United States. Last year was my biggest year, which was in 2018. I think I competed in 5 one-off races, and did pretty good. Little Spirit's sister was in a one-off race, and she was 14th. There was, we don't know if she was on the drop or she was on the second drop, but she did come in with, she was only 2 minutes out, and out of, I think there was over 300 birds in that race, but
Were they nestmates or just siblings?
they were siblings. But one was born, the first round.
Yep.
Little Spirit was Little Spirit was from the first round. The one I had here in the one loft here, it was in the second round.
She was little sister.
She was her younger sibling, but which she was born probably, my first round come off in March. I don't breed early. I don't like the earlier youngsters. I think they, if somebody would get them out and get them to flying earlier, if you're going to fly a race in August, you would want some. I think a 6-month-old bird is good, but if they sitting out there 8-9 months, not being out, now that $1 million race, she was, almost. She was 11 months old. Little Spirit was.
Yeah.
When she won the race, but some of them, my better trapping birds though, wasn't but 9-10 months old. Not necessarily, but the age got a whole lot to do with it. I mean, it's mostly in the breeding. And the other pigeon, the 4th place pigeon, it had Freddie blood in it, and it's definitely in the breeding. I mean, the 3rd and the 4th place pigeon, which was on the drop, was, they were related, blood kin. But the one-off racing, it's the combines is shrinking. It's everybody's combines is shrinking at an alarming rate. But the one-off racing, you do all the breeding, and you send the birds to the race, and if you're not familiar and you got pigeons and you're flying in the combine, if you're not familiar with the one-off racing, you're getting ready to get familiar with it, because it's taking the racing over with. It's a lot of work to condition a team of young birds, but I was fortunate to have the winners of a champion young bird, but to do it 3 years in a row, it's very impressive to me. And and then winning the $1 million race, and competing in the race, and I contribute that, to conditioning the birds, and the breeding and understanding of the birds, back to my history back with the game fowl that I used to mess with. And I think we have covered a whole lot here on the one-off racing. But if you want to know how the one-off racing works, but you do have to put up a perch whenever you send the bird to the guy that covers his expenses, and some of them have got like teams that you can send, for 4 birds for for a certain amount of money, and then if the bird is still there on the after he activates them on 100 miles, there'll be a what we call an activation fee of the bird.
Well, Tim, I know you know a lot about one Loft Racing, but for those who really have no idea what it is, how about dumb it down for us real simple from start to finish? What's different about a one Loft race? How does that work from exactly what you do?
All right. The level of training a young bird, you're not actually training the birds. You're breeding the birds, sending them to the guy through the U.S. Postal Service. If you're doing it here in the United States, you'll take the birds there, and they'll usually get there the next day. UPS is the Postal Service. They're really, really good about getting the birds there. They treat them with excellent care. I've never had no birds that didn't arrive in good shape. They go out of their way for the bird breeders to make sure that they're on time normally next day, unless you live in a really, really, really remote area where the birds not get there in 2 days. But if you send them to a one Loft race, you will go on to about all of you I'm pretty sure all of your one Loft races are connected to a wind companion, to which is a very user-friendly website. You just click on or you type in wind companion, and bam, there you've got every one Loft race in the United States. Some of them in Canada, but all of them, there's just a couple of them there from Canada, but most of them are U.S. one Loft races.
And I'll see if I can include a link to that website in the description.
But it's Wind Companion, WINCOMPANION, and it's a like I say, it's very, very user friendly. And if you want to get onto the $1 million race, I mean, you just click on the South African $1 million race. It is very, very user friendly. You don't, to get into, just to look at the race and the results, you can go back 5 years on it and see how people have done in the last 5 years.
So once the birds get to, after you ship them off, and once they get there, what happens from there? Since you're not the one
Well, they're
training
quarantined and separated from all the rest of the other birds, for usually 2 or 3 weeks or a month. Most of them, if you're going international, if they're going to another country, they're kept here for quarantine in 30 days, and then they'll go to maybe to where their other destination, and they keep them for another 30 days. But if I was taking birds in for a one Loft race, this is pretty well the norm. They're isolated from everybody else's birds. The birds that are already there, you need to have your birds ready to send to the one Loft race. And most of your loft starts intaking birds February the 15th. Some of them March the 15th, and they'll collect them up to for a couple of months normally. And but when they bring them in first, they will keep them isolated in a different, hopefully a different building. But you can do it in the same building. But I would keep them. I've got 3 separate buildings here. Yeah. And I would keep all the new birds quarantined, because anytime you mix birds, you just take the risk of maybe a bird that has got something that another bird can't tolerate. And he's immune to it, but the other bird is not. But they're vaccinated for PMV and pox whenever they get them. If the whatever the one Loft manager he chooses to vaccinate for, but it is a definite growing sport.
And after quarantine, will they train them just the same way you would if you were flying them out of your loft for a normal race?
It would all be exact same way. They will be put in their loft, and they will be kept there for a couple of weeks, and then they'll let them out on the landing boards, and then the birds most time if you've got other birds there, they'll fall in with them a whole lot quicker than they will if on you first.
Yeah, it's always been my experience.
And they are creatures of habit, and they are taken very good care of in the majority of the one loft races. But there are some one loft races that you know, you have a whole lot more competition in them than others. So a big one loft race here, you know, probably the largest one will probably have 3,000 birds. I'm gonna say the average one loft race will have probably the average is probably gonna have 3 to 4, 500 birds, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I do like the bigger numbers of birds myself. But to a guy, you know, it's going on what level you want it. There's other places that you can send the birds to, you know, that put them in like pigeon auctions, you know, to where they'll other guys will fly the birds for you. But it is a growing sport. The one loft racing is.
Well, thank you for explaining that to us, Tim.
Thank you.
Well guys, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Before I end the video, I do have one last thing to share with you because it's super crazy of a thing. I ordered some purple and blue snap-on bands for the pigeons. I couldn't find pink in the ones that I was buying, so I got purple. But to use for my cocks and hens, blue going on the cocks, purple going on the hens, so y'all will know what those are now when you see them. But I was putting some on some of the pigeons just a little while ago while my lunch was fixing, and I was down there at that pen, and there's only one hen in there. It's because I moved that pair of droppers that was up here down there, and I was putting those bands on them, and I sat down with her, and what I do is I just fold their stick their wings up, turn the bird upside down, and stick it to where their wings are in between my legs. I'll show you all that eventually, I'm sure. And then just snap it on their leg, and then I just, you know, let them go. But I did that to her, and she was really easy to catch for some reason. And I put on her snap-on band, and I just sat her on my leg, because I was sitting down, just on a 5-gallon bucket in there, just to let her fly back to a perch or something, and she just sits there for like a minute. I thought, that's odd, so I reach out to touch her, and she flies over to a perch, and the moment she lands, an egg falls out all the way down to the ground and smashes open. So I hated to see that happen, though I wasn't particularly keen on breeding that pair. I like their personalities and their colors, but they weren't doing too great as droppers. They were starting to want to fly with the homers, and plus they're full-blooded siblings too. But it was still crazy to see, and sad to see the egg hit the ground. But I just wanted to share that with y'all because I thought, man, what are the chances of that? But anyways, hope y'all enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave comments. I have been reading them, and I've even got some videos in the works now, according to what y'all were asking for. I even did some extra footage with Tim today that is not going to be in this video, that's specifically for something one of you guys asked for. So take care, guys.